Hi friends! Today I'm going to get started with the engine from the Turbo DAF. For those of you that haven't watched my previous video, I pulled the engine from my boyfriend's drift car last week because I'm going to rebuild it. I'm also going to rebuild the Variomatic system, but I'll get started with the engine first. So let's go and disassemble it. Okay, those of you that have watched my previous project probably know the drill. I'm going to start by removing the bell housing, so I can put this engine on the engine stand. But I am going to do this project a little different from my own 340, because last time I disassembled everything, then repainted all the parts, and after that they reassembled everything in a few days. But today I'm going to start disassembling and then start with repainting some parts as well, so I don't have to spend an entire day on just repainting parts. That's it for the starter motor. I put the engine on the ground because the bell housing's a bit stuck and I don't want to drop it when I'm hitting it with a hammer. So that's why I'm back on the ground. Yay! That took me half an hour, I think. Let me check. 26 minutes, but I got it off. Now let's check it up again, because I think it will be a bit easier to remove my clutch at a normal working height. This flywheel looks so similar to the one on my Volvo 340, but it's like at least half the size. That's so much better. But yeah, anyways, now let's put the engine on the engine stand. I almost forgot, but I still gotta drain the oil. So I'm going to do that first, before I forget again. Okay, so now that my oil is drained, I'm just going to remove all the parts surrounding the engine. The most important thing is that I remove the cylinder head, so I can take it with me when I'm going home and get it resurfaced. Because it will probably take like a week until it's done, and I want to rebuild it as fast as possible. I don't have a proper tool to remove this bolt, so I'm hoping that I can loosen it like this. Oh, yes, I can. Yeah. Now let's disconnect the alternator and the water pump, and I think all I have left to remove after that is the manifold and the turbo, but it comes off along with the manifold. So. Okay, I don't think I can get it off like this, so I'm going to remove the lower bracket as well. Come off now? Yeah. Now let's remove this hose and this bracket, and then the manifold itself, and then the turbo will come off along with it. So, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot of bolts under here, and I think that there are more behind this plate. So I'm going to remove this bracket and plate as well, and then release the bolts from the manifold. Yeah, see, there's two more bolts under there. You can see this one, I think it's dark, but yeah. All right, now let's remove the manifold. Wait, let me get something to store all these bolts in. I think those were all the manifold bolts, so let's see if we can remove it. Yeah, that's it. All right, we're now down to just the long block. Now let's remove the valve cover. I really want to repaint this today as well. Like I said, I want to start painting some things right away, so I don't have to do everything in one go. And I think this will be a nice thing to start with. I love how this is only 3 bolts. It's so easy to remove, which is handy because you need to adjust the valve clearance so many times after rebuilding the engine, so this is nice. Okay, so this part that I don't know the English name of is kept in place by these 4 cylinder head bolts, as well as these bolts. But yeah, so I gotta release these cylinder head bolts as well in order to remove this, which is different from my Volvo 340, where I could just remove this by loosening these bolts in the middle. I think it's funny that you can really clearly see that this engine is pretty similar to the one of my 340. But you can see it's made for a lot more power, because all of these parts are way stronger with the extra springs and everything. I forgot my gloves, by the way. Wait. I don't want this to fall off. I'm gonna remove it. Now let's go on and remove the other cylinder head bolts. And then we can remove the cylinder head. Now let's remove the push rods. And thank you guys who commented what they're called. By the way, I pushed the engine towards my table so I can store them in the same order I'm removing them. So I can put them back like this. I don't know if it really matters, but I think it's always better to keep everything together where it came from. Okay, now let's finally remove the cylinder head so I can take it with me when I leave. So this is what the cylinder sleeves and pistons look like, which doesn't really matter because I'm going to install new ones, but I thought I'd show you guys. Now let's remove the valve tappets and put them on the table as well. If they want to come out, yes. Okay, I'm going to flip the engine upside down and then remove the oil sump, and then I'm done removing parts for today and I'm going to repaint the valve cover. I think this is actually one of the worst oil sumps I've ever seen. Look at all the scraping. My boyfriend's car is super low, so it just scrapes on the ground. But yeah, I don't want to reuse this, so I'm going to try and find another one. And otherwise I'll have to repaint this one, but it's all flat and ugly, so I'd rather use a new one. Alright, we're now down to the short block, so I'm done disassembling for now. And now let's repaint this valve cover. Alright, I'm gonna go clean this first, even though it's not too dirty. This engine's so much cleaner than my 340 engine was, which is a relief, because I don't have to spend hours removing oil and dirt from it. That looks pretty clean. Now let's get to the sanding. I am finally done sanding, so I'm going to get this sanding dust stuff off and degrease it, and then we're going to repaint it in 3 layers. I'm doing primer, color and then clear coat. I'm just going to degrease this using some brake cleaner. Now let's get started with the primer. I'm going to spray multiple layers until it's evenly coated, and I'm going to use the heat gun to help the paint dry faster between the different layers. I'm done doing the primer. And now we can go on and paint the actual color. I'm going to use this color because it will match the wheels of the car. And I think it will look really sick. I'm going to paint the valve cover and the 3 pulleys this color. And all the other parts will just be the original color. But I think this will make the engine pop just a bit more. So yeah, let's go and paint the color. I really like this color. Now all I have left to do is add a layer of clear coat. Well, multiple layers, but let's add some clear coat. I think that looks pretty decent and I really like the color. So now that I'm done painting this valve cover, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and I hope to see you next time. Bye!